All right, Bump, we got the Apple Cup this weekend. UW going over to Pullman to face Wazoo. Is there anything that the Cougs do that the Huskies haven't seen this year?
They haven't seen, I wouldn't say there's something that the Cougs do that the Huskies haven't seen, but they haven't seen the Cougs do this to them. And that is just running the football with Nikhil Watson over the past 7-8 seasons. It's been all about throwing the ball 45, 50 times and hoping that your quarterback wins you a game. Now with the running backs Jenkins and Nikhil Watson out of Wisconsin, they have a legit run game. Nikhil Watson went for over $160 or something against Stanford, and they've shown that they have a legit run game and they play with a tight end. Over the past 7 or 8 Apple Cups, it's been nothing but 10 personnel out there. That's one running back, no tight ends, throw the ball across the yard. Different type of offense this year.
All right, are there any matchups that clearly favor the Cougs when they're taking on the Huskies this weekend?
See, I hesitate to say clearly because we all know how the Apple Cup goes, right? Something crazy happens and guys just raise their level of play. But I look at this defensive line and I say the Cougs can get after Penix. Penix is great in the pocket. He can move. His deception is great. This offensive line has been decent for UW, but that might be the strength of this defense, are Brennan Jackson off the edge and Stone off the other edge. Then you get Dion Henley in the middle of that field. This box looks really good. So I think that if you focus on that D-line, the edge rushers, and you put Henley in the middle, that box looks good for the Cougs.
You played in Apple Cups, you played at Husky Stadium, you played at Martin Stadium, but how does the atmosphere in Pullman for an Apple Cup compare to that at Husky Stadium? And how much can playing in Martin Stadium help the Cougs with the atmosphere this weekend?
Well, let me just say I'm undefeated at Husky Stadium. Throw that out there, 2-0. If you weren't asking, but I'll tell you. But how is it different in Pullman? It's a more like blue collar, rowdy type of crowd. It's just different. It's not. I would say it's probably just as loud as UW Stadium with less people. With UW, it feels more corporate, right? It feels more buttoned up. And doesn't mean those dudes don't get rowdy, but there's a different type of rowdy when you walk into the Palouse. I mean, I've been to games where we're warming up and our fans are literally throwing apples at the Husky ball players. Now, I wouldn't recommend that. Don't do that. Don't get thrown out the game. But it's just a bit more rowdy, and that's what happens when you're stuck in the country and it's just you and 20,000 other students and there's nowhere to go. You get to know each other. You get a little bit of rowdy. So UW's a little more buttoned up, and Pullman's a bit more rowdy.
All right, so Cougs entered this game on a hot streak too. People are talking about UW winning over the last few weeks, but the Cougs entered this game 3-game winning streak. What's allowed them to get back on track after that little bit of a scuffle in the middle of the year?
Kind of what I mentioned, developing a run game, and Cam Ward making good decisions. Now, we haven't been able to throw the football down the field the way that we want to, not too many explosive plays when it comes to 30, 40 yards down the field, but it comes down to this offense, because this defense is the number one scoring defense in the pack right now, averaging about 18, 19 points they give up. So the defense has always been pretty solid, but the offense has been up and down, and that's kind of what happens when you deal with a transfer quarterback, a new running back, you got a new offensive system, coordinators getting to know their players or whatnot. So it's been all about the offense. The defense has been consistent for the most part, but now the offense is picking up the game and showing just their diversity in the game plan.
All right, sticking with the offense, you brought up Cam Ward. What does he and the offense need to do to put up points against UW? Obviously, their defense hasn't been quite as good as the Cougs this year. They've been able to get had at times. So what do Ward and the guys need to do to put up some points this weekend?
One, take care of the football, and Cam needs to be on time. And when he's on time, that means just getting to his third step and letting the football go with conviction. There's a lot of times where he's holding to the ball, holding on to it, he's patting it, trying to make the big play, which is fine at times. But if he is on time and getting rid of the football quickly, they'll be fine. And we all know the Cougs love to run screens, right? So just be good at it. And there's sometimes we run our screens and they just don't work. So be good at the screens, be on time, continue to run the football, and just take care of the rock. If you give UW, you spot them 14, 17 points, it's going to be hard to come back from.
All right, last but not least, when the UW Huskies head to Pullman, take on the Cougs, what ends up happening? What's the prediction?
This is what happens. UW rolls in and they're gold helmets and they think they have their nose up in the air. What is this, the Palouse? Yes, it's the Palouse, all right? And then the Cougs gonna roll in with our mullets at the back of our helmets, with the bush light flowing in the stands, and we're gonna be rowdy and ready to go. And the first series is gonna come out, it's gonna be super emotional. Everyone's emotional before the game, but eventually in a football game, that emotion is gone and it comes down to execution. And the Cougs are gonna make Penix be the player he hasn't been all year. Penix has been awesome throughout this year, leads the nation in passing yards, Big ups to Penix. I appreciate good football. But in Martin Stadium, that defense is going to get after them, cause them to force a couple turnovers, give up a couple turnovers, and the offense is going to be great in the red zone. And we're going to get it done. 27-21. Go Cougs.